Okay, I'll put the balloon in the middle. And this is the moment of truth. No problem, if you know your way around known physics. My first gnome-style gnome-made generator. My parents would be so proud of me. Hi, Gulliver.
Hello, Wilbur.
I am the master of electricity.
Excuse me?
We've got electricity again.
Really? Looking good. We're back in business. As soon as we've solved the other problem, we can finish off the batch.
There's another problem?
Bill changed his order 2 days ago. The new slates have to be fluffy and pink instead of black.
Fluffy and... So what now?
According to Bill, it's the law. Esther is already looking for a solution. Please go and ask her how she's getting on.
Okay, but once we've solved the problem, can we get out of here?
Of course. As soon as we have a solution, the batch will be ready in 2 or 3 weeks.
What?
If all goes well, I can manage 3 slates a day. 4 if I put in a night shift. A couple are pretty much finished. Bill wants 80.
I want out of here, and I don't want to wait another 3 weeks.
You can't always get what you want. Perhaps you can help me cutting the rock later. That might save 2 days.
But... Everything down here is old and used. Some of it's pretty strange too. But every single thing now has a second life and a new task. Hi, you must be Esther.
Yoo-hoo!
Hi, Nate. I'm sorry if I scared you earlier. Gulliver's promised to take me to the surface with you if I help you with the delivery. He said you're making the fluffy pink covers for the slates.
Oh, I'm not ready yet. And it's not a cover. I'm trying to mix a fluffy paint.
A fluffy paint?
Yes. There are hardly any fluffy materials or furs down here. But old paint and chemicals are here in abundance.
I've never heard of fluffy paint.
Well, there are warm colours, cold colours, neon colours. Why shouldn't there also be fluffy colours?
I'm not sure if a fluffy paint is the right way.
It's the only way. We have to work with what we've got. I'm sure that a good alchemist could find the correct mixture.
Ah, I know someone who's good at alchemy.
Really? Would he help us?
I don't think so. She's actually the cook in the rats' camp.
Oh, the same old story.
The rats are lovely, and you folks are easy to get along with too. Why don't you like each other?
Oh, it all went a bit badly wrong. We had had a long journey. We lay down in the rubbish to have a bit of a rest. At some point, I woke up and saw a rat nibbling at one of my fingers. She must have mistook me for a discarded tidbit. I only realised this much later. I was very surprised and shouted very loudly.
Ew! And then?
Gulliver jumped up to defend me. In doing so, he pushed over a heap of junk that buried him as well as the leg of the fleeing rat. Gulliver was shouting wild threats out and trying to free himself from the rubbish. I went over to the little rat to try and help her. She must have took fright. She gnawed off her leg and limped away.
That's truly a tragic story.
Since then, Gulliver believes all rats have it in for us. He wants to protect me. He won't let any rat into the vicinity of our home and has forbidden Nate and myself to talk to them.
But if Ethel the cook wanted to help, would you let her?
Of course. Why not? We just mustn't tell Gulliver about it. He would never allow a rat into our house.
That's the smaller of the two problems. The larger is Ethel. Even if you find the right paint, Gulliver thinks it would still take weeks to complete the delivery.
It's hard work, and Gulliver is working as quickly as he can.
There must be a faster way to build the slates.
Nate thinks so too. That's why he built the constructor. Unfortunately, it doesn't work.
It would make things go faster.
Well, not much faster. It would still take a few hours.
Nate and Gulliver seem to have gnome blood in their veins.
No, Nate has no blood. Gulliver might have something sticky in him.
That's, not what I meant. I meant they both like to invent things.
That's right. They used to make things together. But now, because Gulliver has so much to do, he doesn't have any time for it anymore. I know, but Papa is only working hard, so he'll have more time for you later.
I think it's great what you've done for yourselves here. The workshop, this cave.
We have tried really hard, and it will do for us. A little home for a little family.
I think Gulliver sees that differently. Seems to me he's already planning for life in a palace.
He's very optimistic. I think we should be content with what we have. If you're always dreaming about the future, you miss the here and now.
Life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans.
Who said that?
I read it on someone's wall, so it must be true. Gulliver's very enthusiastic about Bill.
Yes, he thinks he will help us.
But you don't think so?
Oh, what do I know? I'm just a simple girl trying to take care of her family. But my head was chopped off just because I'm a zombie. I'm really not sure if the people in Seastone will take to us, however hard we might try.
I suggest you keep on going for now. In the meantime, I'll go and see if I can win Ethel over to our cause.
You do that.
Take care, Nate, and you have nothing to fear from us gnomes.
Yes, Nate. Wilbur is a gnome. You remember them from your book, don't you? Nate has a book about the races in Avantasia. It's his favourite. I have to read it to him every evening. Yes, a gnome.
Yes, gnomes.
Nate thinks he has at last found another inventor.
Inventor?
The book says that all gnomes love tinkering and inventing.
Oh, gnome. Esther has a collection of different paints and lacquers, but whether or not they can be used to produce the desired paint, I have absolutely no idea. Pictures of Nate, I'd say. Most show trees, flowers and clouds. An empty bird cage?
Oh, Nate often feels lonely when Gulliver and I have to work. We thought a bird might be a bit of company for him. I'm making good progress. I've already found a bat wing and a few frog eyes.
Yeah. It's fine white sand. I can't just put it in my pocket. I need some sort of container. Okay. It's fine white sand. I can't... The little soup bowl is filled almost to the brim with fine sand. Let me guess. This is one of Nate's inventions.
Of course. It makes us breakfast every morning.
It works?
Let's just say the next thing on my wish list is a machine that will clean the kitchen up after breakfast.
What is it?
A map of Avantasia. Nate built it. He often likes to dream of travelling across the lands.
He's never been up there?
No, but I tell him about it every evening, and he has his books.
The map is made from old sheet metal and recycled parts. It must have taken forever. I really hope one day Nate gets a chance to visit some of these places. Ooh, another firework. 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 Esther's equipment isn't all that bad. Her main problem seems to be a lack of experience. Do you need this stand, Esther?
I don't know. Do I need it?
No idea, but I think I need it.
How do you know?
When the walkthrough says that I should take something, I do.
So does the walkthrough also say how I can mix the fluffy colour?
Of course.
Why don't we take a look?
Where would the challenge be in that?
I think you might just be taking me for a ride. Be my guest and take it. I don't need it.
A portrait painted by Esther. Could be a relation of Gulliver. This looks like scales used by some of the merchants in the market. But this one's broken. One of the pans is missing. Do you want me to see if I can find a second pan for the scales, Esther?
Oh, don't. Just leave it. I'll mix the colour by eye. You're welcome to take the scales with you if you want.
Ooh, might prove useful. Thank you. Ooh, another firework. Ooh, another firework. A small socket wrench. Nate must have used it to build the map. I'm sure he won't mind if I borrow it. I've always believed you shouldn't judge people by their looks. Even if it looks like their looks are made from a bunch of other people's looks. An empty bottle of cognac with a little musketeer hat for a cap. It says another one for all on the bottle. I don't like alcohol, but the cap's funny. I should let her keep working on her paint, even if I don't think she has a chance without Ethel's help.
My son says you could help him with his constructor. I told him you said you weren't an inventor, but you did sort out the electricity, and Nate says all gnomes are inventors.
In theory, yes. Practically seen, I'm practically not practical at all.
But the constructor could save us a lot of time once it's up and running, and you are in a hurry, aren't you?
I could have a look. Where's the problem?
We need a strong fan belt. All the ones Nate tried so far have torn. And we need coal for the steam machine. Wood and garbage don't burn hot enough. I still can't say for sure whether the machine will actually work. Not all of Nate's inventions work at the first go. Hey!
V-belt and coal. Sounds doable.
But don't forget we still need the fluffy paint as well.
How could I? Work never stops.
It looks like you'll have some help. Don't cause any mischief, boys.
Neither Nate's size nor strength quite equals his enthusiasm, but it's good of him to help me. Hey, Nate! I've seen the map you made. Although, you can hardly call it a map, it's almost a miniature world. Yes, all the mountains and forests and cities. And you learned all that from only books and your parents' stories. I can't even imagine what it must be like to never have left this place. Blue sky, green trees, fresh air. You've got so much to see. I'll get you out of here, Nate. I promise. I know what a little ingenuity and ambition can accomplish. I come from a gnome family. But the constructor, this is a truly impressive piece of technology. Yes, if we can get it working, the delivery should be ready in a jiffy. What do we need to get the constructor operational? Right! Coal for the steam engine and a strong V-belt. That's what Gulliver said too. Time for work. The wrench could actually fit. It's worked! It's ticking! The clock is ticking, but it's probably showing the wrong time, and I have no idea what the time really is. I'll set the hands to 12 o'clock. The bird really has seen better days. It's losing its feathers. A pretty little feather. This bird has definitely seen better days. Almost looks a bit scary. Hey, Nate, I have something for you. For you. For the empty bird cage. My pleasure. fine white sand. I can't just put it in my pocket. I need some sort of container. Even if I don't think she has a... Hey, hey! Time for... I need some of the intelligent rock.
For the constructor? Of course! Help yourself!
Ooh, the rock is lighter than I thought. And it's warm. I should get rid of it as quickly as possible. Gives me the creeps. A bottle stopper in the shape of a musketeer's hat. Now I really have seen everything. Timmy tried for a long time to cheer me up and to finally get me out of bed. Eventually, he gave up. Timmy is disappointed because I don't, but better a disappointed friend than another corpse. Timmy is but better a... Hi, Ethel. I met someone who needs help. Your help, to be exact.
Some kind of burning question he needs to ask? I don't have any answers. Only more questions.
He is a she, and it's about an alchemy problem. She wants to mix up a, fluffy pink paint.
Understood. That's doable.
Doable? Then can you show her how to do it?
Yes. Monsieur de Demont always said we should help others. Where is she?
There might be a little problem.
A little problem? What?
She's just an itsy-bitsy teeny-weeny little problem.
Tinsy tiny little problem? Who is she?
She's, vivicationally challenged? Well, you know, I mean, how should I put this? She's, a zombie.
You wanted to take me into the monster's cave?
They're not monsters. Their names are Gulliver and Esther, and they don't want to hurt you. Well, we should probably stay away from Gulliver at the moment.
I'm not doing that. No chance.
The zombies want to leave their caves. Isn't that a good reason for you to help them?
I'd like the caves to be zombie-free, believe me. But I'm not going anywhere near those monsters. Cost me a leg last time. Whew.
Isn't there any way?
Well, maybe, when pigs can fly. Monsieur Demar asks me, of course. I'll do anything for Monsieur de Dumas.
He would ask you to help them, for sure.
But he hasn't, and he isn't here.
Will you help Esther mix up the fluffy paint? Please?
No. Well, only if Monsieur de Dumas asks me.
Or when pigs fly. Somehow I have to convince Ethel that Remy wants her to help the zombies. Either that, Or I need a pig and a pair of really big wings. I have to be going, Ethel.
Don't let them get you, my biggin.
Timmy? I could use your help, Timmy.
And?
It's about the zombies. I can't manage it alone.
I'm supposed to help people who throw things at me. What do you get out of it? Are they going to help you out of here so you can just run off?
So, Timmy, man or mouse?
Rat. One of those rats trying to save what can still be saved. The others are all out there in the streets fighting.
Really? If all the rats are out there risking their tails, so why aren't you with them then?
I'd be out there in a flash. But Uncle Remy asked me to stay here. And I listen to what my uncle says.
You know Bill, the merchant? He smuggled them into the city and lowered them into this hole. Now they have to slave away for him down here to pay off their debt.
He's exploiting them. They should just stop working for him.
And once they stop working, what do you think will happen then? They're stuck here underground, without any gold, without any way out. What are they supposed to do? Live off society's waste, like you?
It's not a bad life. At least, it wasn't until we started being turned into hamsters. Some of us have even been forced to wear dresses and hats. Can you imagine?
One question. What would your Uncle Remy do?
Right now, he would climb down that black hole to find a way to destroy the one that's transforming the world.
You know Bill, the merchant? He smuggled them into the...
He's exploiting them.
The zombies haven't done anything to anyone. All they want is a better life for themselves. And their son.
I'm not saying that I think it's right what Bill is doing to them.
But you won't do anything about it. Aren't you the one who said you should help others whenever you can? Here's your chance. Right here. Right now.
And coincidentally, we create a way for you to get out of here, right? But at least you want to help the zombies. That's a step in the right direction.
Don't count on me taking any more steps in any direction.
That remains to be seen. Friends?
Friends.
Okay, I'll help you in the zombies. And then we'll see.
I'm glad Timmy's with me. He reminds me of how I used to be. Optimistic, fearless, naive. A musketeer hat with a feather. That reminds me of someone. I have a little cape here, Timmy.
And what are you going to do with it?
Esther isn't able to mix the fluffy pink paint alone. She needs Ethel's help. But Ethel won't help her unless Remy asks her to.
Uncle Remy always gives his orders face to face. And I think even Ethel would realise you aren't Uncle Remy.
Exactly. That's why I thought of you.
A disguise. But my voice is much too high-pitched.
I could do the talking for you.
That sounds like a plan that simply can't fail.
Remy without a hat. Totally unthinkable. I would say the clothes are perfect. Put the disguise on, Timmy. Put the disguise on, Timmy.
Let's see how good the disguise is. Yeah, sure. Try your luck.
Look who's back, Ethel. It's me, Remy. Monsieur de Damas.
So where is Monsieur de Dumas? You trying to pull my leg? There's nothing wrong with my eyes. You boys.
I'm glad Timmy's with me. He reminds me of how I used to be. Optimistic, fearless. Cape looks perfect. The hat, almost. Maybe if I'm very careful... Ouch!
I've got eyes back there too. Not really, of course. But I would have if my experiments had been successful.
Sorry. Hey, Timmy, do you think you could bring me that towel? Can you distract her so I can try?
Hi, Ethel.
Stu? Good grief, what do you look like?
Oh,
Got it! Ethel hasn't noticed that the tea towel's gone missing. Ethel hasn't noticed...
it was nice talking to you.
Ethel's tea towel. She uses it to clean her glasses. Aside from a few old stains, it's clean. Oh, okay. Ugh! Now the towel's all dirty and greasy, but the dishes still aren't clean. Seems Ethel only has eyes in the back of her head when things go missing, not when they're brought back.
Let's see how good the disguise is. Yeah, sure. Try your luck.
Look who's back, Ethel. It's...
So,
Hi, Ethel. Can I have...
and how...
Tastes great. Is something wrong?
Sight is getting weaker and weaker. Everything is blurry and unfocused. Oh, we'll have to have a go at some youth potions again.
Let's see how good the disguise is. Try your luck.
Look who's back, Ethel. It's me, Remy. Monsieur de Damas.
Monsieur de Dumas, you're back!
Yes. But only very briefly, because I have to go back.
What is lurking down there at the bottom of that frightful hole?
It's, too dark to see anything.
I thought you had matches on you.
I did, but I also had to make a fire, and I definitely didn't have enough. That's one of the reasons why I came back.
And the other?
I want you to help the zombies under the mountain of rubbish.
Oh. Well, is that really necessary?
The zombies are being exploited. They simply deserve better than this.
Wilbur said something to that effect as well. What do you reckon?
Remy's probably right. Exactly. Listen to Wilbur.
Okay then, what should I do?
Help the zombie woman Esther mix this fluffy paint the zombies need.
That shouldn't be a problem, as long as they don't eat me.
I can guarantee they won't.
Oh, Timmy, you're here too. Where is Monsieur de Dumas?
He's gone back down the shaft again.
Shame.
Ethel left a stew pot with the stew behind. But I don't think that's a problem. A good stew can simmer for days on its own without any harm. I don't think Ethel would be thrilled if I just took the candle. I don't think Ethel... Hey, Nate! Hey, Nate! Get on the other side! I always loved to seesaw when I was a little kid. You never... I see. You always has too much to do. No problem. We can seesaw anytime as long as I'm here. Time for work. Stand over there, Timmy.
What are you doing?
I am working on something.
What are you doing?
Don't you like seesaws?
Oh, seesaws are boring.
Ungrateful kids these days.
What exactly are you making?
Do you remember the bit about the ruler in my classroom?
Of course. But what are you trying to get?
That V-belt, up there.
Do we really need it?
Come on! Don't you want to be catapulted through the air and risk life and limb?
All right. But give it a bit of va-va-voom.
Everything okay, buddy?
Wow, that was awesome!
And an ogre's hand with too low. Stand on the seesaw again, Timmy.
Sure.
Neither Nate's size nor strength quite equals his enthusiasm, but it's good of him to help me. Hey, Nate! Nate, can you come over for a minute? I need some extra weight. Trust me. Oof! That should do it. Ready, Timmy?
More power! Woo woo woo!
That's it!
Ah! Thanks.
Ha-ha! We make a good team.
Yippee!
A fairly wide, strong V-belt. If that isn't strong enough to power the constructor, then I give up. Where should I stick the tape? On the base? On the edge? I'd first have to know what I need to stick the bolts to. Now to get back to Esther. Quick. Look who I have here.
Oh, hello.
This is Ethel. Ethel, this is Esther.
Oh, hello.
I think you've already met.
I'm very sorry that my husband and I scared you so much before.
And, I'm sorry that I nibbled you a bit.
That's okay. It can happen. I like the flower in your hair. Very pretty.
Oh, thanks. I like the fact that you don't want to eat me. Wilbur said you had some kind of alchemy problem.
I'm trying to make pink paint, but it has to be fluffy.
Ah, understood. Show me what you've got.
Peace between rats and zombies. That feels pretty good. When do you think the fluffy paint will be ready?
I bet we'll be finished with this before you boys have got your slate sorted.
That's good news.
Don't tell Gulliver about it. Let's surprise him.
My lips are sealed. The constructor is supposed to saw both the magic rock and the boards and assemble everything all on its own. Pretty complex task, if you ask me. This monster could speed slate delivery production up so much that we could even finish that last delivery for Bill today. All we have to do is get this machine wound up and rolling. Ooh, another firework. I think that should be enough for a nice stick of dynamite. That's enough explosive powder for, whatever. Ethel will need this while she's with the zombies. I'll light it from the fireplace. So, that's done. Hey, Nate! Time for work. Good, that should work. Why not? I'll just press the candle onto the crosspiece where the missing pan used to be. So, that should hold. I think I can install it onto the machine myself. Nate can help me. Not bad for a beginner, eh? Even if I can't do anything else, the scales are suspended from the stand and the candle is on one side. I have the feeling I'm on to something. Even if I can't do anything, the scales are suspended. I have the No, the bag is empty. It's not heavy enough. Good idea. I'll put the sand in there. I'll tie the other end off here so it doesn't fall. The world's smallest sandbag. Too small for even me to train on. Not that I planned on it. Training, that is. I think I can install it. The world's smallest sandbag. The scales are suspended from the stand and the candle is on one side. I have the feeling I'm on to something. Nate, this is Timmy. Hello. Together, we'll make sure that you can get the final delivery ready for Bill, okay?
Nice to meet you, Nate.
He said, I'm honoured. At least, I think that's what he said. Hey, Nate. What do we need to get the constructor operational? Right. Coal for the steam engine and a strong V-belt. That's what Gulliver said too. Time for work. The explosive charge should be enough to blow the coal out of the rock. I hope that the caves are as stable as they look and I don't end up accidentally collapsing half a sea stone. The scales are suspended from the stand and the candle is on one side. I have the feeling I'm on to something. Okay, I poke a hole in the bag, sand runs out. It falls onto the scales, pushing one side down and raising the candle on the other side. It ignites the explosive charge and boom! We have our coal. And, thanks to our ingenuity, all our fingers too. Everyone take cover! Right then, heads down, ready to fire. Ah! Now! Right now! 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 Any moment now! Nate! No! Ah, no! 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 Come on, Nate! Wake up!
We've got to do something. You have to repair him.
I can't. I'm not an engineer.
That doesn't matter. Help him.
Wait a minute. Maybe there is a way. Grandad told me about it. The best gnomish engineers pass this technology on to their students.
Do it.
Now, work, you stupid thing. Do you have a heavy wrench? That works better.
Not necessary. Nothing that he can't fix himself, I'd say.
We were worried, Nate.
But then someone saved you. As someone who'd forgotten for a moment that he couldn't.
Nate!
Are you okay?
I need a fuse or some other way to detonate the explosives from a distance. Dwarves believe coal brings happiness. I think it mostly makes for dirty fingers. Okay, guys, let's get the pile to the workshop. No, you're just fine. You can help. Phew! I'll never be a miner, that's for sure. Okay, as I understand it, the raw materials are fed into the machine through this funnel, right? Okay, that would be wooden planks and some of the intelligent rock. The large flywheel drives the machine. However, there's no connection to the steam engine. Have your V-belts failed? So we need a really strong one. Any steam-powered machine worth its salt has a whistle like this. Any steam-powered machine worth... does this indicator show how effectively the machine's running? Then we'll have to keep an eye on it once we're rolling. We might have to oil it once the machine is up and running. It's not necessary at the moment because the machine is well oiled. Good job, Nate! control the constructor. You don't need to explain everything to me now. We need to get this baby working first. Getting the coal here was quite a challenge, but the pile should be enough to get the delivery done. The fire in the furnace heats the kettle above it, turning the water to steam, making the pressure rise. The hotter the fire, the better. We need coal.